first turn of our big black powder American Civil War game. The Confederates, their general, just ordered them to everyone march forward. And the Union did exactly the same thing, but only got one order off, but I got all three, so I was able to get a big column off the road and two smaller columns. So we'll go for turn 2. So this was turn 1. We'll go for turn 2 and see what happens next. So the Confederates' second turn, the center formation, the one that should have gotten the best roll out of everyone with all the bonuses from marching and on roads and stuff, actually failed, but they were still able to make one move. So the order was to move forward one move, change formation, like so deploy guns, change into lines, and then follow up to make a double line with the guns out front. They failed that, but they did get their one move, so that wasn't too bad. Over here, the order was to counter march these soldiers down off the hill and to deploy the cannon at the forward edge of the ridge. And over here, the orders were to form up double lines. Wasn't that good looking, but with a skirmish screen at the front. And then, I forgot to roll to see if the cannons can do it. That was a separate order, wasn't it? Let's do that now. I need 2. 9, 1. So they make it to the hill, but they do not deploy yet, which is not a big deal because it's still so far away. So we'll do Union turn 2 and we'll come back and see where we're at. So Union turn 2, yeah?
Yes, turn 2.
Turn 2. Alright, so over here we gave the order, he gave an order to move up and got one.
Pretty much across.
Pretty much that's exactly what happened across the board, except when he had to move the 1 unit into the town, in which he got 3 full moves to make that one move. So it's a little bit disappointing for the Union side, but I think I'm fairly confident that the Union's going to be playing a defensive battle, which is probably not terrible considering the good defensive ground that the Confederates have. So let's see what happens turn 3. All right, so this turn 3?
Yeah.
Turn 3. Okay, so this is the Confederate turn 3 with the knowledge. Well, I shouldn't say knowledge because he could turn that on. The assumption, that's a better one. The assumption that the Union's going to play defensive and their shit rolls to begin with. I've decided to go a bit more aggressive with the Confederates. Kind of screwed myself a little bit though, because now the just the regular artillery is going to have to move through this hard cover, which is very rough. That means 1/3 movement, but we'll get there. Everyone else though, they're going sweet. So four units in line, 1 unit in skirmish. These guys, they could pull off what they were trying to do last turn. They got their cannons out the front. We got their lines there in support. And then over here, we just did some slight redeployments with our infantry. Cannons stayed the same, and these guys, I wanted them to move. Well, this guy didn't, but I wanted them to move into a bit more of a line, a defensive line situation going on. So anyway, that's the end of turn 3 Confederates. I don't believe anything's in range. I might check. So I checked, and we're probably about 3 or 4 inches off from actually being able to hit anything with the cannons just yet. But that's still good to know. So we'll go to the Union turn 3 and hopefully better command rolls. Right, so just an update. We're cutting in early because this is a big order. These guys who were trying to move up and form a line have failed, and they didn't fail. They only got 1. So they've made 1 move, which is we've worked it out. We've measured it. They're not within firing range yet within 1 move, because in American Civil War black powder you can only move once and still shoot. There's still hope there, right? And then over here, he's moved his units into line to defend that flank. He rolled a 6 when he needed a 9. So he got that done well and truly. He's opted, instead of using his brigade commander with his leadership of 8, he's going to use his general, which currently has a leadership of 10, moving these 2 and these 5 regiments into the line formation that he needs. So we're going to do the roll now, and we're going to see if it can happen. Oh, so he gets 1 move. Oh no! We'll finish this out. We'll do a quick shot at the end of the turn. No, we'll just do a fly around at the beginning of the next turn. Man, that's terrible. So this is the end of the Confederate turn. So the Confederates are continuing to shift now, putting pressure on that flank. I was hoping to get all the way up to near that house at this end of this turn, but no. That's what his forces ended up like. We actually forgot to mention his cannon could still make a move, and because he didn't fail his order, he could move it up. So he did get the cannon forward. It did take a shot. It did miss. Then I moved my boys up here in the centre, fired my cannons on the units that are directly in front of them. So there to there, there to there. The left-hand unit missed, even with its reroll from firing into a column. On the right, though, I initially rolled a 1 and then rolled a 6. So he's disordered there. And then over here, I shifted these 3 regiments from this brigade over to add some support, and then moved these guys into line formation just to maintain the defensive. Those cannons are still there comfy on the ridge. And it's now Union turn 4. Turn 4, yeah, Union turn 4. Alright, so end of turn 4 for the Union. So he got his stuff into line. Mostly, except those 2, but no big deal. Yeah, they did well. He got his cannons to fire off. We got some disorder here and a wound, and we got a wound over here. And that's it. So now it's the beginning of Confederate turn 5, and we'll see how they go. All right, so end of turn 5 for Confederates. These guys still on the defensive here. This centre line regiment moved up so that these 2 and the 2 cannon were in range of a regiment which was there and is and they're now there. They got shot so bad, so they did a run. They're whipped now. This regiment has marched over here with their general, formed up. These guys failed, but luckily the cannon was still in march column, or limbered, so they still did get to make their move through the rocks. So who knows, maybe the cannon will be the ones who save the day. So we'll go to turn 5 Union and see how badly they'll maul the Confederates. So end of turn 5 for the Union. Just move their boys up here a little bit. Centre failed, didn't it? Move up. Yeah. We got some shots though from here to here, but they saved them. They're doing very bad in this game. And this whole line though shifted and took up all of that space. So that sort of cut my Confederates off from shifting themselves. So this is Confederate, well, we'll do Confederate turn 6 and see what happens. Alright, end of Union turn 6, yeah? Confederate turn 6, sorry. Union boys did alright over here. They survived some shooting, no issues. This guy got absolutely shredded by that infantry regiment. This infantry regiment shot those guys for 1, and the 2 cannon fired off probably great at this range at these guys and did nothing. Everyone else pretty much failed their manoeuvres. They failed. Oh, no, they got 1. They got 1, so they were able to form a column. And that's it. So we'll go to Union turn 6 and see what happens.
Right.
So end of the Confederate turn 7.
Yes.
7. Just shift these guys up over there with initiative. Tried to reorganize this, but no, didn't really. Kind of happened. It didn't happen the way I wanted. I wanted to occupy the rocks. Reoriented these guys around. I shifted the cannon forward, but didn't get enough to unlimber, which was a bit of a killer. These guys tried to shift to the right, failed. Did some okay shooting there with the cannons. And these guys whiffed their shots against those guys. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go to Union turn 7. So end of turn 7, the Confederates capitulate. Mostly because I feel sick and this is going to go on for a long time.
A lot of fight left.
But the Union definitely pulled back from their earlier poor dice rolls, and he's pushing hard on me. A lot of my redeployments have failed, and I've just sort of accepted that I'm going to be plopped there, which is not crash hot. And I sort of think that, yeah, I don't think it's going to start collapsing. I just lost the whole thing. He charged. He tried to charge here instead of shot, and actually, that doesn't matter anymore. And it's going to fail from memory, I'm sure. Could be wrong, but whatever. And yeah, plenty of damage over here. These guys, so not really going to be moving to counter move against you. So I'll call it quits. Thanks for the game, and yeah.